What's up, everybody?
What's happening, family?
And welcome back to another episode of
Is This Gonna Cause an Argument?
My name is Angel Lakita Moore, also known as Angel Tanksley, also known as That Chick Angel. And I'm joined by my sexy fan co-host, who's also my husband of almost 15 years. Tell him who you are, baby.
I'm the other host of This Is Gonna Cause an Argument, Marcus Tanksley, a.k.a. Tank, a.k.a. That Heifer, a.k.a. CEO, President, and main client of Man Shit.
Yes, you are. If you all are watching or listening and like, whoo, why do they sound tired again?
Because
we are. I'll tell you why in a little bit, but let's tell them a little bit about this podcast. It's a weekly podcast that uploads every single Wednesday.
Every Wednesday.
And we talk about anything and see where it leads us. It could lead us to an argument or an intense discussion or fellowship. Or it could lead to hilarity and technical difficulties, a bunch of things. But, we cover everything that happens in life that we experience, that you experience. We love having the conversation with you.
Absolutely.
And together.
That we feel like talking about. If we don't feel like talking about it, we don't talk about it.
Ain't that the truth? We are joined today by some really special people that we are honored to be able to say that they are members of our Patreon. We call them our angel wings, our tanks riders. For those that see it as a term of endearment, we have our heifers.
All the heifers, pull up.
But we also call them our immediate family. They're part of our Patreon. For the low of $5, they watch us live. So they're actually watching us tape this, as well as we do events with them. For instance, we'll be doing a virtual mukbang this Friday, the 20th of May. They'll be getting to know our moderators a little bit more. It's going to be a seafood mukbang. So if you're trying to pull up, go ahead and join that Patreon at www.patreon.com/thatchickangel. We also have some other dope people that we're going to be talking about here in a little bit. And those are our sponsors. We have a long-term sponsor, HelloFresh.
In the building.
Also another long-term sponsor, BetterHelp.
All in the building.
Now, this is our first time working with this company on this podcast, but we've worked with them a lot on our other podcasts, and that is Babbel. Can't wait to talk more about them, okay? And then last but not least, a new sponsor to this podcast, Upstart. I think you all are really going to like them. What I've been reading about them, I think a lot of you all are going to appreciate their service. So we'll tell you more about them. We ask that you use our discount codes or links if you decide to use their services, because when you support them, you are ultimately supporting us. So I think we got all the business out the way.
Yeah, I think so.
Let me tell you why we're tired, and then we'll go to the first segment.
Yeah. We
just came back from Cancun, Mexico.
Yes.
On a turnaround trip. We literally left on Friday, and we taped Is This Going to Cause an Argument on Monday. So we got there Friday evening.
Yeah.
Got back yesterday night.
Last night.
And
got up this morning, did the morning routine with the kids.
I woke up at 4:30, got ready to work out with my trainer at 5 a.m. So you are hearing real tiredness
you hearing
in our
and seeing
voice.
The energy of people that are exhausted.
I'm going to give you, though, I'm going to empty my tank for y'all. I'm not about to hold back whatever I got in here. Y'all going to get the end of this. Whatever's in me right now, y'all going to get.
Yeah, but don't nobody be talking about the energy seems off, because the energy is not in the building.
But no, we went to Cancun for my best friend's wedding that I was the matron of honor in. Also, Marcus is not feeling his stomach is a little bit.
I didn't get no sleep. You don't even know this. I was up to like 2:30.
Oh, bless your
Couldn't
heart.
sleep. Energy. It's something in Cancun done got up in my system.
Did you take any melatonin to try to help?
No. To help me sleep? No. Yeah. I don't like what that makes me feel weird.
It does.
That's why I only did it once or twice.
Oh, I didn't know that you didn't do it because I didn't know that you had stopped doing it because it made you feel a certain way.
Anyway, got here this morning, started setting up, started setting up, had to go handle some business, came back, ate my Starbucks, about to finish setting up, and I had to go handle some more business.
So, Marcus,
his
tum-tum is not acting right.
Yeah.
But, so yes, that's
my body rejected everything in that cup that you don't see.
Bless his heart. So that is what's going on with Marcus. But yeah, Somebody said last week we seemed more tired. Last week we were also tired.
We had just
gotten back from Kentucky.
Yeah.
So we have just had a lot of
doing
traveling.
the same thing, literally a turnaround trip.
Mm-hmm.
Except that last week was probably worse because we traveled with the kids.
No, not just that. We flew in the day we shot the podcast.
Oh yeah, we flew in that same day. Yeah.
Yeah, we literally dropped the kids off at school, came here and started shooting. So that's the last of our traveling for a little bit. So next week we will be back to our energetic selves. Yeah. Amen. So let's start with our first segment, Tanksley Pride. Y'all, do you want to start?
You can start.
I got a phone call while I was in Cancun. It was my eldest son FaceTiming me. And I was like, hey, what's up? And I never know what my son's going to tell me. Anytime he FaceTimes me, I'm always holding my breath. I don't know what he's going to say. I'm just trying to make sure I don't make any faces. And he was like, so.
Got these holes all up in my phone, Mama.
He's like, so I just want to tell you that I have a girlfriend. I was like, who?
As if you didn't know.
Well, no, it was just, and it's the person that obviously we knew it would be, is the person he's known since he was 3 years old. Yeah. They've been best friends since. Yeah,
the person that everybody's teased him about being his girlfriend. We have been asking him for years, so you like her, don't you? No, I don't like
he used to get pissed off if somebody.
Get mad. Like, why is everybody aware of this but you?
He would get so angry about it. So I was like, what's so funny? Let me give you a little backstory without putting my son's business fully out there. Is that I'd actually just gotten a text. The day before, I had gotten a text from the mother of the young lady because of this friendship triangle that was going awry. And it wasn't little Marcus's part in it was just not understanding that this other person was causing friction. That was really upsetting.
Basically, you bring together two villages.
Yeah.
It's like some tension.
And, they're 12 and 13 years old. So it's just like, it's in their minds, it's their entire world. We understand that in the greater scheme of things, it's not that big of a thing. And I also understand my son is not thinking about all that. He just wants all of his friends to be friends.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is all happening while I'm in Cancun. And I was like, yo, tell your daughter to just call Marcus and explain it to him, because I don't think he sees what's happening or understands. And I said, and I'll have a little conversation with him on the side. So I did. I was like, hey, I want you to know of what I was told that happened. You might want to talk to your other friend and tell them quit causing so much friction, and then let the girl know that this wasn't your intention, just so she can understand that you empathize with her. He was like, cool. So I'm thinking he's calling to tell me that went away. I don't know where in me saying that, he was like, and you know what? Be my lady. You know what I'm saying? Listen.
You know, I said about that. I said, that's how I know my son is becoming a young man. Because to fix one problem, he does something even more drastic. It's probably going to make things even worse. So I'm going to do whatever. I'm going to say whatever I got to say to get her to feel better right now. So here.
I was so like, what?
I said, yeah, that's typical.
He didn't even know that he needed to ask us permission to have a girlfriend. But that's also, I can get it. We've never said that was a rule. We've more so like, because now he understands the concept of boyfriend. Well, I don't want to even say understands the concept of boyfriend and girlfriend, because I don't really think he understands the concept of boyfriend and girlfriend, or even has a definition of what it
seems
looks like for
he
him.
Does, because before it was like, so was that your girlfriend? He was like, no. Like, why not? We're not ready for that.
Yes.
Like, we was like, ready for what?
Exactly. So that's the reason why I'm now like,
ready for that. That's a capital that.
I'm now trying to figure out. So I started the conversation so he could start thinking about it this morning, because this morning is the first time I got to see my son face to face.
Oh, I know you talking about it.
Because I said to him, so what made you decide to ask her to be your girlfriend? He was like, well, me and you had the conversation talking about me and him. And you asked me, so, okay, so why is Harper not your girlfriend? And, I told you I wasn't ready, or that we weren't ready. He said, then I thought about it and it was like, no, really, why isn't she your girlfriend? And so I decided to ask her, and I was like, huh, okay.
Yeah,
And
you did this.
Apparently,
yeah.
Apparently, me asking questions just made him go, this is what I need to do. So I said to him, well, I need to know what that means for you all's friendship and relationship. How does this change what was already happening?
I get to claim that now.
I don't know. I don't know, because also I want him to like,
hey, you know this little girl that I see maybe once a year? That's mine.
That's mine. That's mine right there. But getting him to
FaceTime,
understand.
scan the room. Who's with you?
That's exactly. But also getting him to understand, okay, well, then that's a conversation. Well, understanding the parameters that he's even allowed to have a girlfriend in. But then also having that conversation with his new girlfriend. So, because she's definitely a girl. And she's definitely dramatic. She's definitely very emotionally expressive. But having him understand what is her.
He has a type.
I'm not emotionally expressive. So that is the shocker. But so that he can understand what her expectations are, because I don't want him dealing with a bunch of stuff and he's like, I don't get it.
Yeah,
like,
especially at this age, it's like her maturity level and her what is it? Maybe her emotional intelligence is probably skyrocketed past
yes,
years.
absolutely.
So she might be coming to him with a bunch of crap, and it's like, what?
I just want to play some video games.
Yeah,
with
that's
you.
all.
Like,
I was trying to log on. My daddy said I could play Halo now.
So yeah, just getting him to have that. So that's the one thing. Whew, I know that we'll have like a little bit of a talk after, like later today, of like, okay, so what does this mean to you?
Yeah.
What do you think it means to her? And praise God that it is long distance.
Yeah, if this was not long distance, this would be a completely different even topic or a conversation that we would have had with him. But we ain't got to worry about, nobody sneaking up to the house and
right,
making sure they not in the same room. All of that. This is like long distance. It's like we've been long distance. We know what it is.
Yeah, we just gotta, make sure we've already set a strong FaceTime etiquette, but we're gonna set it even stronger. Now that he has a girlfriend, and be like, certain things don't ever need to be on the screen.
Right. Matter of fact, all these conversations need to be had
in the kitchen,
in the main area of the house somewhere.
Exactly. So that is my Tanksley pride story. Is that
we're gonna paint lead lining in his bathroom so the signal don't work in there.
Listen, exactly, or just gonna be like, so now Kai's your roommate. Because then we'll know all the tea.
Oh yeah,
Kai. We put Kai in there. Kai's gonna tell us CNN. Everything.
God dang that boy.
He'll be like, at 3:33, he just learning time. He'll have the time right there.
Oh yeah, you gonna have the time. Then he gonna snitch on himself at the same time. So one of my crushes.
I know. That's exactly. That was another FaceTime I got, and Kai ain't got no type of shame. No. He holding up that party invitation, and I was like, "What is that for?" He was like, "One of my crushes invited me to my birthday." I said, I don't understand what's happening, God.
He's the problem.
He is. What is your Tanksley pride story, babe?
Mine is, well, one, this whole thing of seeing these boys go to another level of childhood. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But literally when we got back yesterday, seeing Amar, him finally looking like he's aged a little bit. Like he actually looked taller, because he's been speaking in like full sentences for a while now.
Yes, he has.
But seeing him like, mommy, daddy, like running up, he hugged Angel. He just kind of
he barely hugged me because he thought that meant go to bed. So he just hung underneath Daisy.
I mean, it's the usual with me. He's like, he kind of called me. He's like, yeah, what's up? Like, what's happening? But finally seeing it on him, because like he's pretty low in the percentiles in all categories.
Yeah, he's a small child.
He's small
in height and weight and everything.
Yeah, so seeing that of him, like looking at him like, huh, and then also we looked at a picture of Marcus from December, and he looked like a completely different child.
Oh my God, he looked so little.
Yeah, seeing this is just like, I looked at Amar last night, I was like, all right, I need to start soaking all this in. Mm-hmm. Granted, I got some time, but I need to start soaking all this in, because I still view little Marcus as that little 5 or 6 year old child.
Yeah.
Every now and then he says something. He's like, "Yes, sir." I'm like, first of all, who you talking to? You gonna take your goddamn voice out your bass out your voice? Uh-huh. That's what you gonna do. He look at me like, "What? You heard me?" Cause
he had the highest pitched voice out of everybody in the house.
His voice was definitely higher than Kai and Si's at one point. And now it's like
it's trying to be deeper than mine. And
it's
I
like,
got a
Kai,
deep voice.
stop it. Like, you stop.
Who's
First
that?
of all.
Who the hell is up in my house? You talking too loud and you're talking too low, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
But I do like HelloFresh,
right.
okay?
Absolutely.
HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit, and y'all know they are a sponsor of Is This Going to Cause an Argument? And they are one of my favorite things that we have in the house. Y'all know I outsource a lot of things. I outsource getting our clothes cleaned. I take it to a fluff and fold. We now have a cleaner, and now I outsource our meal planning and meal prep with HelloFresh because my life is only getting busier professionally, and the kids' lives are even getting busier with the things that they are about to be involved with. So meal planning is a place that I just don't have time to put a bunch of creativity in.
You know what I'm looking forward to?
What?
HelloFresh makes it easy for one.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're having to cook for your children, all that, your family, it makes it very easy. But when Mama comes out, she thinks it's fun to cook.
Oh
these.
my
she
God.
enjoys it. Like,
she loves cooking this HelloFresh.
She will come
stuff.
to us and be like, "So I already fixed 2 for the kids. Y'all mind if I go ahead and fix another?" Yeah, Mama.
She
yes,
absolutely loves it. She loves the pictures because you get a little meal card that has the recipe. It tells you what ingredients you'll be using. But the ingredients are already in a bag labeled with the name of the food. So it is completely, I think, foolproof, in my opinion. Gives you step-by-step directions. So Miss Margaret loves it because she's not been one to usually cook with recipes. So it's nice for her to be able to cook things that she wouldn't normally cook back home in Kentucky for us. And it comes together so nice. And she's just like, oh, this is real good. And you can upgrade so that you can have like more of a luxury experience. So you're getting like these really high value upscale meals, but still for a fraction of the cost. It's like 72% cheaper than dining at a restaurant. You really can't beat that. Also, like I said, we cook it for the kids every time. We've had these tacos, we've had raviolis, we've had sloppy janes. We've had a plethora of foods. It's always something different. So our kids are not, I remember when we were just on grilled chicken thighs or baked chicken thighs, broccoli, and rice. That was all I was cooking. Mm-hmm. It was so boring. Now, everything is great. You can customize it. You can switch out proteins. You can add proteins to a veggie meal. There's so many things you'll love. So this is what we want you to do. We want you to go to HelloFresh.com/argue16.
Argue16.
And use code argue16.
Argue16.
For up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. I'm going to tell you one more time. Go to HelloFresh.com/argue16.
Argue16.
And use code argue16.
Argue16.
For up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. Yeah, the boys are changing. They're growing and...
it's
and
seeing it happen with all. Actually, I would say, not even Si. I was going to say maybe Si not as much, but yes, seeing all of this happening with all 4 of them is something else. And finally seeing it on Amar is like, okay.
I think it's really gonna, at the end of the summer, we're really gonna be looking at our kids like, who are these kids? I can't even. It's all crazy. Okay, so let's jump into our next segment. Usually, before we got this producer, we never did these segments together. But now that we've got a new producer, we've got new rules.
Hey.
Okay, so our next segment is In My Feelings.
Let me tell you what's got me in my feelings.
I got something making me feel good.
If y'all don't know, or if this is your first time watching us, In My Feelings is a segment that we do where we get to talk about things that's got us feeling good and things that's got us feeling some type of way. Since I started off Tanksley Pride, please kick off this segment of which you could go whichever way. What's got you feeling good or what's got you feeling blah?
Well, y'all know what's got me feeling plaid is my stomach right now.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even put nothing on the front, I can't think of nothing else. That's got me feeling, not in a great way. But what's got me feeling great, and I say this more times than not, is everything we got going on. And I'm looking forward to, well, I tell you what's got me feeling some kind of way. Yes, I just now thought about it. This heifer right here found out what we're going on for our anniversary.
Oh, no.
Supposed to be a surprise, which I'm not even
Big on
100%.
surprise.
I'm not even big on surprise. I only do the surprise thing because Angel, she likes the surprise aspect of the anniversary. So she don't want to go. If she could not find out until we landed, she would be fine with that.
Oh my God.
Me, I want all the details.
Yeah.
But the way everything is set up, especially with our, the traveling and everything and the
Delta app.
the Delta app, we got, I think it was some spam or something that got sent to you. It was something that looked suspicious. So she had to go to the app to just try to see what that was and then saw the destination. We still ain't going to tell y'all, though.
It's a surprise to y'all.
But even though I'm not big on surprise, I know she is. And I feel like that's part of the gift. So the fact that she knows now.
I'm sorry.
I'm over here side-eyeing her. Not feeling too great about it. It wasn't it wasn't her fault. It was just like, what is this? What's going on? Why are they saying that we just booked something? And then she looked. The first little hint, the actual place didn't give anything up because nobody knew what that was. Then it said the location under that, and she was just like, God dang. And I saw you. I didn't know that's what it was, but I saw you see it. But I just figured you was looking at something else. Then she told me. She was like, by the way.
I know. I could have tried to lie and just pretend like I didn't
I'm glad
know,
you told me. Like,
but I didn't want to do that. I try not to mislead you on things. And I was just like, let me just tell him. But I am excited. The cheeks will be out. Just get ready. It's whether or not the body is ready. Cheeks will be out.
I was going to say, that ain't nothing new. They're going to be out. I like that matters.
What's got me feeling some type of way was in with no. I'm no longer feeling some type of way, but had me feeling some type of way was a misunderstanding or miscommunication, I should say, due to us both being in our feelings that put out an untruth in our last podcast. But what's got me feeling good is that we took our time after the podcast last week to clear up where the miscommunication was. Do you know what piece I'm talking about?
Say it.
Why you did the podcast.
Why I did the podcast. So once again, I'm looking at overall. I don't take back the fact that I did the podcast for you, but that was the blanket. Hold on. Like I told you,
Nope.
That was the blanket of it. If it was something where we're like, Angel, I told you, if it was something where she said, I don't want to do this podcast no more, I would have fought to keep it because there was an agreement that we had to do this podcast and see where it goes. So there was a joint.
Why did you decide to do the podcast? Was it because I said, let's do a podcast, or was it because...
No, the people wanted a podcast from us.
Okay, that's the part that I'm talking about.
No, everybody wanted a podcast from us. I was like, and you brought it up, like they wanted to do a podcast. I'm like, cool. So that was the overall blanket of, that was, yes, the original, but the overall blanket of that, I still stand by. But I do, yes, it was because of the people.
Thank you. I'm like, can we please clear this up correctly? So, yes, last week I was a little flustered because I was like, that's never been the conversation. Now, vlogging, 100%. I stayed on Marcus about let's vlog. But this podcast from its inception has always been something, because I didn't listen, me nor you listen to podcasts. Marcus was more so like, nobody listens to podcasts. I acknowledge.
I don't know if anybody listens.
He said, don't nobody listen to no podcast. I was like, no, people listen to podcasts. I don't, but I was like, I know people do.
And here we are still hosting, and I don't even listen or watch my own.
Right. He don't even listen to his own. But it was something in the beginning that we were both agreeing to do together. Yeah. It was a project for us to do together. So last week I was like, don't you dare put this all on me. Like, we both didn't agree. But after we had our conversation, he understood how his wording was communicating it as if there was we understood both sides. It was like she could understand why I said I did it for her, but the wording that she was trying to get was that it was a thing that this agreement to do this was something that it was supposed to be our project together that we both were agreeing to sign up for. Not that we were doing it for the other person, but that we were doing it to do something together. So once we got to that, but what's got me feeling good is that y'all know in the conversation we were talking about how I be liking to keep discussions going, and Marcus be wanting to shut it down because it's we be talking in circles. But that was one that I felt like it was like I would say it might have been, I don't want to speak for you, like the perfect balance of we talked about it afterwards, and then once I had a little more clarity of thought to be able to get to the root of it, we talked about it one more time the next day, but it didn't feel like it was beating a dead horse.
Mm-mm. Nah, it didn't.
Don't you do it.
Nah, you right. Nah.
It didn't feel like it was beating a dead horse. It just showed that, like, when we are both, our intention is to better understand the other person. Our arguments are really just long discussions more so than arguments. So I was very proud of how it was handled.
There's a stipulation on the word argument.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even in court, they say, what's your argument against this? It's not anybody yelling or raising their voice or acting off rusher. It's just like, no, that was a debate is an argument. Like, it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So when I say, that we had an argument, like, people already think that, people was turning over glasses and storming out and slamming doors. Like, no, that's just.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, but it was good. It was really, I really felt proud of how we handled that discussion, especially because, one, we had the first half on camera, and that's already us having to, like, walk in a certain way to make sure that, like, I'm not portraying something that he would not appreciate on camera and vice versa, but also not allowing a bunch of outside opinions, because we have a lot of people that watch the podcast. Praise God, we are so grateful and thankful. But trying to not allow a bunch of comments and other people's opinions to sway how we hold the conversation, that is harder than what people would want to acknowledge, but it's something that we have to do. It is and so for me, it was me more so being able to take a step away and figure out how I felt, regardless of what everybody else was saying, and be able to take it to you clearly. And I just appreciate you listening and you hearing me and you actually understanding where I was coming from, instead of being like, girl, we didn't talk about this. I don't want to talk about this no more.
We have talked about this. Why you not?
Don't make me punch you. So that's what's got me feeling good. What's got you feeling good?
I just told you. Didn't I say everything? Hold on. What happened?
No, you talked about what had you in your feelings, which
and
was
then I
me
said, I started saying what's got me feeling good. There's everything we got
but yeah,
going on. I'm in a limbo right now with, like, things that's got me feeling good. Because it's like it's things on the horizon that's got me almost feeling good, but I know there's things that still need to happen before I'm like, yay, like feeling good about it. So right now it just looks like a bunch of work that I need to do, and it's not a good thing that I don't feel great about this, but honestly I don't feel great about it.
About the work you need to do?
Yeah. Because it's all positive. It's always like, why, if I were to start saying everything, people be like, oh, that's dope. You should be excited about that. But for me, because I'm looking at the project in its entirety, like, Angel's somebody that celebrates every single rung of the ladder.
Yeah, I had to teach myself that.
I recognize every single rung of the ladder. However, I celebrate at the top.
Go ahead. I've just realized what I hadn't told them. I told Patreon, but I hadn't told everybody else.
Okay. So anyway, that's why it's hard for me to say what's got me feeling good, because it's like all this thing and it's stuff I can't wait to tell y'all. I really can't, because I am excited about it, but at the same time it's just like,
yeah, I get it. I think
it's
everybody
like,
has a right to do it the way they...
I'm building this house, but you look behind me and it's like literally 2x4s and concrete trucks just parked and ain't a foundation dug yet. So that's what it feels like.
I mean, and there's some people that need to operate that way of, let me just get it complete before I say anything.
Yeah, that's me. I don't. Yeah, that's like the huge difference between me and Angel is Angel. The journey is a celebration to where me, the completion is a celebration.
And one reason why the journey has to be a celebration for me, I told Patreon this, but for those of y'all who don't know, my show that I shot last month, where I was a series regular, did not get picked up by CBS. We just found out Thursday of last week when they did what's called the Upfronts, which is when they announced to advertisers what their fall and spring lineup will be. CBS shot 4 comedic pilots and they picked up none of them to series. But the reason why I had to get into the routine of celebrating every step is because the next step is not promised. And I don't, what I know someone can't take away is the celebration and the joy I had of the step I did complete. So like when people were calling me like, are you okay? I said, listen, I didn't get fired. So come on, give God the victory. I said, I was on a show that got canceled. That is a level I had not reached before.
Yeah.
I had been getting let go of shows before they got canceled.
Yeah, because they got canceled regardless.
Yeah, all the shows that I was ever on or was supposed to be on got canceled. But I was like, come on, victory is mine. Because I surely made it all the way to the finish line and the whole show got chucked.
Yeah.
So
I think there's a difference in our career paths too. Of you, because I knew that the next step was coming unless I died.
Yeah,
I knew it would.
You could assume that's a good assumption to have.
Yeah.
Obviously, you could get fired for no reason,
right?
But it's a good assumption to know the next step will happen if I keep doing this work. Where for me, everything is up in you never know. So I'm going to celebrate getting the call back. I'm going to celebrate getting tested. I'm going to celebrate signing the contract and knowing a check is coming. I'm going to celebrate making it through the table read and not getting fired. I'm going to celebrate shooting the pilot.
To where when she's celebrating this stuff, I'm celebrating with her, but I'm like, we still going to be all right. We're chopping this champagne. All right, let's.
Because my celebration is accepting that. So then I don't have that anxiety of like, okay, what happens? What's going to happen? Well, speaking of anxiety, this podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. Life can be overwhelming, and many people are burnt out without even knowing it. Symptoms can include lack of motivation, feeling helpless or trapped, detachment, fatigue, and more. Well, burnout is something that especially we have a lot of Black women that listen to this podcast. That's something that I think a lot of us don't even realize we have been living a life in is burnout of just having to be the one to show up, showing up because that's what we choose to do, say we have to do in order to have things move ahead. And then we look at ourselves at the end of the day and our tank is empty. We can't really even give to ourselves because we gave to everything else. And wondering why, like, we're not able to have any fulfillment in any of our relationships and just truly just being like, I don't feel like dealing with anybody because I don't have anything else to give. And then sometimes it's like feeling like, oh, if I don't do this step, that's going to let everybody else down. But then also realizing like, oh, I'm in a job or a position that I don't even want to be in. I don't even want to be here, but I'm only here because I feel like if I quit this, then it's going to let everybody else down. That is burnout. And it's sometimes easier said than done to get out of that cycle of being burnt out. So I don't want to make, just because I'm acknowledging what it is, I don't want to make light of how hard it is to get out of that hamster wheel of life, right? So this is why we are always grateful when BetterHelp sponsors this podcast, because I cannot speak enough to having someone who really understands human emotion, who understands the impact of trauma, who understands the impact of daily habits, and being able to help you get a better bird's eye view of your life, to help you make the changes for your better. And that's what happens when you have a professional licensed therapist working with you. BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. Is this going to cause an argument? Listeners get 10% off their first month at BetterHelp.com/argue.
Argue.
That's BetterHelp.com/argue.
Argue.
We are still in, May is still the month of mental health awareness. And listen, I just really hope you all take the time and the chance to like really learn about this company, BetterHelp, and find a therapist for yourself. Now, after you do that, okay, and after you get yourself together, it's time to travel. It's time to get out there in the world, okay? It's time to see the people, okay? What is Benvenito somewhere, okay? Welcome yourself to somewhere. And you want to do that by learning a second language, all right? Learning a third, a fourth language, okay? For most of us, learning a second language in high school or college wasn't exactly a high point of our academic career. Listen, I done told y'all before, all I know is songs in Spanish. Eres tú, eres tú.
They say, I don't know the
Eres
song.
tú,
I don't know them in
eres
English.
tú.
You don't want me to try them in Spanish.
Marcus took Spanish and French.
At the same time.
Bless
when I
his
tell
heart.
You, them poor things canceled each other out. There wasn't no direction on how to learn both of those. I said, you know what, I'm going to learn Spanish because they just seem smart, but I'm going to learn French because, I mean, hey.
You gonna try to do it to woo the ladies?
Oh, you had no idea.
Oh, I do.
Teachers too, it didn't matter.
Now, thanks to Babbel, the language learning app that sold more than 10 million subscriptions, there's an addictively fun and easy way to learn new language. Whether you'll be traveling abroad, connecting in a deeper way with family, or you'll just have some free time, Babbel teaches bite-sized language lessons that you'll actually use in the real world. Spanish is the one that I have been using because, one, we're in California where there are a lot of Spanish-speaking people. We work with or have, I don't want to say employed, but we've contracted people who speak Spanish to help us with certain things around the house. And I would like to be able to have open communication with them without the language barrier. So that's another reason why Spanish has been one of the languages. But one of the languages I do want to step in, and I know it's not going to cancel out like it did Marcus, is French. After learning that my heritage traces back to Sierra Leone, I'm like, I've got to learn French. I've got to.
So, yes, that definitely, because I want to get picked back up on my French too, but that's not the language in Sierra Leone. English.
Yes, but they have a French influence.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No. I know they speak English
They
there
were
currently.
they were colonized or whatever.
But I'm going to learn that French because I'm sure it's still somewhere up in there.
I mastered French just to go somewhere else and speak it where they don't speak it. This sounds elegant.
Babbel's 15-minute lessons make it the perfect way to learn a new language on the go. Our language learning apps use other language learning apps use artificial intelligence for their lesson plans, but Babbel's lessons are created by over 100 language experts. Their teaching methods has been scientifically proven to be effective, and with Babbel, you can choose from 14 different languages, including Spanish, French, Italian, and German. Plus, Babbel's speech recognition technology helps you improve your pronunciation and accent. There are so many ways to learn with Babbel. In addition to lessons, you can choose from you can access podcasts, games, videos, stories, and even live classes. Plus, it comes with a 20-day money-back guarantee. Start your new language learning journey today with Babbel. Right now, save up to 60% off your subscription when you go to babbel.com/argue.
Argue.
That's babbel.com/argue.
Argue.
For up to 60% off your subscription. Babbel, language learning for life. All righty then. Let's jump to the did you choose? I'm gonna let you tell which one you want to do. We have two really fun possibilities for a topic for today's podcast that our producer gave us, and we're going to choose one. Which one you want?
High school.
Okay, so here's the question we're posing ourselves. In another life, could you have been high school sweethearts? Describe what you were like in high school, and if you would have been compatible at that time. I want you to go ahead and start while I pull up the thing for the next segment.
We would not have been high school sweethearts, but we would have been best friends.
Ooh, please explain why you didn't hurt my feelings right now.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings because in high school, I was just as, if not more, goofy than you.
You think you would have gotten on my nerves?
We would have gotten on each other's nerves.
Please tell me more.
Just because that was me. I was just all about having fun in high school. I was the witty, clowning around constantly. And I know you was a nerd in high school too.
I I was a nerd, but I was also funny. I mean, we had Terrence Gatewood, so he was
Gonna put his whole name out there.
Yeah, Terrence know what he is. Terrence was a bit of a class clown. He was he's still one of the funniest people.
I was probably like.
You were probably like
probably
a
I
Terrence.
didn't. Yeah.
Yeah, we would have been really good friends.
We would have been good friends.
Would you have tried to holler?
I don't know. What were you like in high school?
Like, what do you mean?
I just told you what I was like. You've seen the pictures. I mean, hey, 6 proms.
I was a leader.
Uh-huh.
I took my academics seriously. I was very popular. I was homecoming queen. I was always creative. I went to Scapa. Like, I was taking dance. I was in the musical. This is the thing. While I was hella black as far as in like Black Pride, so I'm in the groups where we're learning about like our Black heritage and history. I'm also doing stuff that Black folk didn't do. I was like, I'm about to be up in this band, and I'm about to be on color guard. I don't care if we're the only Black people here.
Oh yeah, see, that was at our school that Black people did all that.
Right? No, y'all. Yeah, there was more there, but like so the way Lexington is divided is that, and I mean any city, but Lexington is smaller. There's East End, and then there's West End. And then there's like the north side, which is Bryan Station. Mm-hmm. And then there's like the south side, which
Henry Clay and all that.
Henry Clay, Dunbar. A lot of Black folk typically didn't live in that area. That didn't mean they didn't end up going to schools in that area. So where I went to school at Lafayette was mostly folk from when I say folk, I'm talking about Black folk. We're from East End. East End.
Yeah, both over there.
At Bryan Station?
Yeah.
Well, we had only East End and then me. East End. So East End has some nice parts, and then East End has some parts that, like, if you're not from there, you might not want to be just out and about.
Nice parts.
I think once you get on Elm Tree Lane, Rose Street, I feel like it's not like.
Oh, that y'all's nice.
Don't pick.
You said some nice part. Well, right there on Rose and Elm Tree. I'm like, I know, I'm very familiar with that area.
I just feel as
they
though
built like 5 or 6 new houses over there.
I
Look, that's my city and I love it, but I ain't gonna say. I guess for the area that would be the nice part. Like.
I listen.
Even a plant in the desert is considered moisture. So hey,
that area of East End, I feel like
it's a block.
It's a street. It's a whole street.
It's a street. It's one block. It goes from a stop sign to a light.
It goes longer than that.
It's not.
Yes, it is.
Right after that, you got the lyric and all of that.
Yeah, that's a part of East End.
And that you consider that a nice area too.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Shut up.
Standards is low as hell.
Whatever. I say all this to say. Oh my God. You shut up.
The nicer areas.
It was. They had the new houses
you said areas
right there.
Plural.
Well, there could have been more areas. I just wasn't going in there.
You got like everywhere else, and then you got that little section of Rose Street where they, tore down that other stuff and put up them little houses.
It's so nice. It's very nice. And other streets could be nice. I just wasn't perusing.
You're right.
I was not perusing. Anyways, I say all that to say, sir, that a lot of the kids growing up in that area weren't they weren't being encouraged to do.
Lady one, I'm gonna have to need you to say Tate's and not Takes Creek.
What are you talking about?
She said Takes Creek was south side.
Oh yeah, it was just a type of area. Tate's Creek was also south side.
But I call it Takes Creek for a long time.
Oh bless it.
Oh yeah, I did. I ain't had no reason to go out there. Ugh.
I say all that to say that a lot of the people who lived out there weren't being encouraged to do a bunch of different stuff. So that's the reason why I would be one of the only people. I was also on track. I was doing everything. I wanted my hands in as many things as possible and to get to experience as many things to figure out what it was like. You weren't doing a whole bunch of extracurricular activities.
Nah, I did. I was running track The only reason why I wasn't playing basketball because I hurt my knee.
This is the perfect time to tell you all about our new sponsor, Upstart. Now, the Tanksleys are no strangers to debt, right? Especially with credit cards. A lot of times you sign up thinking they're going to be something amazing, and then you end up with these really high interest debt, right? I think back to when I got my LASIK done. That interest rate was ridiculous. There have been credit cards that I've had in the past that their interest rate is just should be illegal. But sometimes it's hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel when you have those type of high interest rate, because you're making a payment and it's only putting a few dollars towards the principal, and then you're just paying interest. And sometimes it's even harder to ask for help when you're stuck that you're just like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Well, help is now here, and that's where Upstart comes in. You get a chance to say goodbye to high-interest credit card debts, and that is actually one of the big steps to having financial freedom, because the interest month after month can feel like a never-ending hamster wheel. All right, so Upstart-powered personal loans can help you pay down high-interest debt, all online with a simple and easy-to-understand payment terms. Upstart has helped over 1.8 million customers on their path to financial freedom. Whether it's paying off credit cards, consolidating high-interest debt, or funding personal expenses, Upstart can help you get one fixed monthly payment with a clear payoff date. Upstart knows you're more than just your credit score, so rather than looking at your credit score alone, Upstart's model considers the other factors like your income, employment, and other information provided on your loan application to find you a smarter rate for your loan. You can check on your rate in minutes, and for loans between $1,000 and $15,000 without impacting your credit score. You can even receive funds as fast as one business day after accepting your loan. So for those of you all who are really trying to get these credit cards under control and get them out of your life, here is a solution so that you're not feeling like you are drowning. Don't wait and check your rate today at upstart.com/argue.
Argue.
That's upstart.com/argue.
Argue.
To check your rate today. Don't forget to use our URL to let them know we sent you. Loan amounts will be determined based on your credit score, income, and certain other information provided on your loan application. Go to upstart.com/argue.
Argue.
I can tell y'all right now, I think I've had a couple of things where the interest rate has been over 20%. Couple of things. And I mean, I was lucky enough to book gigantic jobs where I was able to just pay them off. That is not the case for most people. You know what your monthly income is.
Yeah.
And you like, I'm just going to have to keep pushing through. So here's a solution so that you don't have to live life like that. Check out upstart.com/argue.
Argue.
Okay. So would I have been interested in you? Yes. I was like, let me think about it. Yes, I would have been interested in you because I know there was one dude, but I don't think I would have actually dated you. There was a dude, because here's the thing. Marcus and I, even though we're 2 years apart in age, we were 3 years apart in school. So you would have been a freshman when I was a senior. Mm-hmm. There was one freshman that I was actually allowing myself to kind of be interested in, and I knew he was interested in me, but the factor that he was a freshman just kind of killed it. Like, I was like, I'm not going to homecoming with your mom having to give us a ride. That's just not a thing that I'm about to do.
As if your options were better.
My options were better. He's dead now. I went with Henry.
Oh, no, it was homecoming. Never mind.
I went with my friend Henry. He took me, and we would just went as friends. He was very nice, but he ended up passing away. But I was like, I'd rather go with Henry and not have a romantic date than to have your mama pick us up and drop us off. But I would have definitely. You were tall already.
Yeah, freshman, I would have been too intimidated.
You think so?
But by sophomore year,
that's the reason why I would have worked. Freshman, if you would have been intimidated, I would have eaten you alive. Yes. I would have eaten you alive. You.
Yeah, by sophomore year, you been like, hold on, boy. Now slow, hold on. What is your name?
I definitely, yeah. If I would have known, if you would have just behaved just a little shy, that would have been all I needed.
Yeah.
Because luckily we met when we met, because your aggressive flirting towards me, your confidence in yourself would have shook me a little too much.
No. Yeah, because then, like, it's crazy because going into high school, freshman year, I knew all the juniors and seniors because they knew my older sister.
Mm-hmm.
So I was, like, hanging out with all them and stuff. By my sophomore year, I was by myself. I was like,
you were like,
I don't know none of these people.
Right.
Then that's when me and Gary got real cool. I found out later on in the school year that me and him are actually cousins. And then so that I was slowly warmed up. But by sophomore year, it was like, all right, we clowning. I'm here. I have arrived. Acting a fool.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I would have definitely had your nose wide open.
And then junior and senior year, just like, we didn't skip school because school was too fun.
This ain't got to do nothing with your experience. This had to do with whether or not you would have wanted me. Okay?
Yeah, I'd have got at you.
But it wouldn't have been until your sophomore year.
Yeah, probably sophomore year. Thing is, I wasn't showing no interest like in like single, like particular girls. It was just by the time once I did start flirting, I was just flirting with everybody. That would have ended us quickly. I'd be like, have another conversation too long with somebody else. And I'm gonna have to fight you is what it's gonna be. Yeah, I got my hand around saying, I'm just walking her to class though.
I'd have to kill you. I'd have to kill you. But I don't think you would have. The thing is, like, who was the most popular girl, like, at the time at y'all school?
I have no, like, tip-top popular.
See, we
did when I was a sophomore. I take it back. There was, who was it? Did she play basketball? But by the time I was, like, I think that's when I was a freshman. By the time I was, like, a junior, it was, like, wasn't no, like, one single popular. You had, like, a couple of the star football players, a couple of star basketball players, a couple of, I ran track, it was, like, it wasn't no like single popular person. Like our like homecoming people, they were just like, all right, so y'all, even though we didn't make it to championship, we was almost close to being somewhere. So that's why we going nominate y'all.
Yeah. No, at our school we had singular people black folk that were more like popular than others. Not that we didn't have like a we're so popular, but like you knew that, okay, a lot of people know this. I mean, I was a class officer as well. So like I knew who knew me and who didn't.
Yeah, no, we had senior, like especially junior and senior year, you had people that were well known and other people that weren't as known. But it was like not one over the other. It was just like that group of folk. You know everybody in that group. That's that clique. This is this clique. Being that I didn't have my own little clique, I was cool with everybody. So it was just like,
oh yeah, you didn't. The fact that you didn't have golds, I would have definitely been on you. The fact that you dress nice, definitely been on you. The fact that I would have been able to tell, oh, his parents are involved in his. Yeah. Absolutely, we would have just.
You ain't been arrested yet, boy. Come here.
Yeah, we would have just needed one activity together. That would have been track. It would have been game over.
I'm like, who's that thick girl over there throwing that shot?
Throwing that disc. She's terrible. She cute though. Good and terrible.
Yeah, she just need a clipboard. Let her be the manager.
That's what I was for indoor track because there was no outdoor. There were no fields, so I was manager.
Indoors.
Oh yeah, we would have sat with each other on the bus to the track meets. I would have had you wrapped around my finger.
Coach Mill would have been like, Tanksley, you get on away from her. Come on over here.
No, he would have been like, why are you doing this to yourself, young lady? Why? You know that boy ain't up. I was like, he cute. Yeah, I could not deal with.
I was one of them gold chain words when I ran track too.
Were you?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I would have lived it. There were dudes that would like aggressively flirt with me that were like from East End that I knew definitely sold drugs. Some that were.
They didn't live on Rose Street though.
No, they did not.
They lived. It's literally. If y'all knew how close together the streets was, they share backyard.
Shut up. There were parts that were nice. There were parts
that was nice.
There were parts that were nice. But they would like there was too much of a maturity in how they were like coming at me, and I was
they
just
had some
like,
experience that
and I already
experience.
knew that like I can't deal with you because you're gonna turn me out. Like I'm not. I know that I am not smart enough to know when I'm about to be trapped in a situation that I don't want to be in. So that was enough to scare me from. I don't care how fine you are. I'm not talking to you because I'll do something stupid that I can never get out of. So I needed somebody who had a little bit of a naivete so I could feel like I had some control of the situation. And so that I would know that whatever happened, it was something that I wanted to happen and not I was convinced into happening. So that's what you being younger and you not being as confident as you became. Perfect situation. Perfect storm. Yeah, it would have been mine. Then college would have happened, and I don't know what would have happened. You would have still, we would have broke up because you would have been pissing me off, and I would have hated being a college student coming on campus at a high school ready to fight folks. I'd be like, what has become of you, Angel? I'm like, he's my boyfriend, and he's playing with these girls. I am in college. How dare you? Yeah.
That would have been awful for you.
It would have.
I'd have been the ish, though. It's like
Marcus got Angel over here coming up to school.
She that came out, you can't, because that's a huge jump for some reason.
Yes.
Huge jump.
I would have been picking you up from school, though. In my car, because I have one. I've been like, come on, let's go. And I've been pointing at them. I see you pointing at hoes.
Like somebody's your young ass mama.
That's what they would have thought. But you also you would have stayed with me because you were into older women.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was.
Remember? Mm-hmm. So we could have been but I could see how we could have also just been good friends, like best friends.
Yeah, who would just been acting a fool. Mm-hmm. I've been getting you in trouble with your little programs that you in. Walking up in the middle of some meeting or some performance or practice or something. Yeah. Because I didn't care. I used to interrupt the football meetings. I did not care.
You a whole fool.
Oh, my God.
All right, we have a question of the day, and it's from one of our Patreon members, Sandy.
What's happening, Sandy?
Here we go.
If you could go back to high school, what's one thing you didn't have the courage to do in high school that you'd have the courage to do today?
I would have dated a drug dealer. That's what I would have did. I didn't have the courage back then. I would have felt what it was like to be a trap queen. That's what I
on the lowest level possible. A dude in high school. The fact that he's showing up to class lets you.
That was because all of his customers were in class. That's why you gotta be where your consumer is. That's a smart man right there.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what I didn't do in high school.
That's what I didn't do.
I better not say that.
Oh, what?
No. Dang, that's a good question. Just because that's like I lived high school I feel like I lived it to its fullest.
I can tell. You definitely look at it like your heyday.
I know what I would have done. I would have done something more disrespectful to the principal, Jeffrey Gilmore, because he is a punk. That walking off stage, I already barely shook his hand. I like threw his hand off mine. I don't know. I probably just had a cup under my gown and just threw it in his face. I don't know.
Oh, no, Marcus.
Oh, I can't stand that man.
You would have been more disrespectful.
Oh, yeah, even more disrespectful.
Oh,
he drove a little busted Volvo. I thought many days, we should just go over and just get everybody together and just flip that thing over. Old punk. He's probably racist, too.
He's probably racist.
He's definitely racist. I ain't even going to say probably. The way he would single us out.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think
Jeffrey Gilmore. I'm saying his whole name.
You've said it multiple times on this podcast, so I don't think anyone has forgotten his name because you've talked about that man.
It wasn't that I wasn't bold enough. I was too respectful to not do anything. I wish I was a little less respectful toward him. Mm-hmm. Even my parents didn't like that prick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you would have done something disrespectful, and
I'd have went back the next year and slashed his tires and left a note. Like, I already graduated.
Well, then that's when you go to jail.
He ain't got no proof.
If you leave a note, yes, they do.
Somebody slashed his tires and left a note. I ain't gonna say I put my name on it.
MAT, class of
Social Security.
Yeah, I definitely would have dated a drug dealer, and I would have seen what that life was like. Seen what it was like to have somebody pay to get my hair done. Mm-hmm. Seen what it's like to have somebody pay to get my nails done. I mean, it wouldn't have been long lasting because my mother would have killed me. But I should have at least
one of the
given
ops
it a go.
didn't.
What'd you say?
I said if one of the ops didn't.
Oh yeah, I most of them.
Now we didn't have no shootings like it in high school.
Yeah, no, they weren't killing folk, and they really weren't getting arrested for real.
No, they wouldn't.
So I mean, I would have made out okay.
At the very most, after high school, some of them would have had cars with 20s.
The problem is that I would have had to then give it up the booty because I don't think most of them were willing to date girls that weren't. Mm-hmm. That's the part that I don't know how I would have been able to like get that.
You'd been turned out. You'd have had to go, ended up with a gold.
I would have been cute with it.
Probably pregnant, one of them pregnant lessons.
Why I gotta be pregnant? I ain't gotta be pregnant.
At Lafayette, yeah, you gotta be pregnant.
Nah, there was a lot of girls who didn't end up pregnant at Lafayette. There was a whole lot. And also, girls also know how to. I was going to say. When the rights were still intact for people to have.
They didn't stay pregnant. That's a whole nother. Oh my God.
The fact that our rights weren't being put on the line if we didn't want to have a baby. We didn't have to have a baby. But yeah, I would have definitely. There was definitely a nice amount of drug dealers. They were really nice to me. Really always.
The fact is they talk about my high school so bad that they talking about drug. We didn't have drug. We had like 2.
You
maybe
didn't have
3.
drug dealers?
I said 2 or maybe 3. The big time drug dealers?
Oh, I'm not saying they all were big time.
All right, we had maybe 3 or 4 more that wasn't big time.
Y'all had more than that, Marcus.
How you figure?
You act like just because I didn't go to Bryan Station that I didn't know Bryan Station folk.
No, they was probably selling to y'all, so it makes it look
regardless.
Y'all was the addicts, we was the dealers.
Whatever. No, our folk weren't like the white folk were doing a lot.
Them white folks was doing hard drugs in high school.
Yeah, they were into it. Ours was.
And they make it look like we was out there wilding out.
Our folk were just selling. They were selling weed like dime bags. It wasn't nothing crazy. But yeah, no, they were a lot. They were really nice to me. They were. They were.
It was nice to everybody. You never know who a client is gonna be.
They were very nice. They knew I wasn't gonna be no client, and I think they appreciated a nice girl. Like she out here just doing and learning, doing. But you know what? I've seen many of nice girls get turned all the way out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wouldn't want.
We were watching it happening. Look, poor thing.
I know it is. It is one of those poor things.
It really is.
Because her heart, she really with him. Like, she really with him, and she just.
Hold on, Ray's talking to who?
I know.
God dang, she was valedictorian last. Boy, curtains now.
All the time, it did.
Hey, Ray got 6 kids, girl. He a junior.
I also didn't like weed breath, so it wouldn't have mattered though. Weed breath, alcohol breath.
If you selling don't mean you smoking it.
All them dudes smoked weed.
No.
You could smell it. I wouldn't have liked that. So I don't know. Either they smoked weed or smoked cigarettes.
That's one thing you didn't have. You didn't have nobody smell like weed in Myra.
Their breath did. So anyway, let's do our little shout outs. Tell them where they can find you. Tell them about your amazing podcast that is doing so well.
It's doing all right.
It's doing great.
Y'all can find me on Instagram, Marcus Ain't on the Gram, at Facebook at Marcus Ain't on the Book, on TikTok at Tank Don't Talk. You can find me on my other podcast with Greg Gooseby called Let Us Tell It. That's on Tanksley TV. Make sure y'all go over and subscribe. We talk about manhood, man this, man that, what it feels like being a man. If you got questions about manhood or something involving a man, just let us tell it. Don't go to some article or some other source. Go to the horse's mouth and hear it.
Mm-hmm. Y'all horses. And
then y'all can also find my beard and body butter.
Come on.
Man shit. That's MANSHYT. I use it.
You got to show Patreon your new way of packing because he took man
I ain't
shit
mastered
and made
it
yet. I know, but once you do, he done made man shit even manlier. It's hysterical.
I actually use power tools to make it now.
Actual power tools. You can find me at That Chick Angel on all platforms except for Twitter, where I am Angel the Actress. You can watch this podcast on That Chick Angel TV, and it's also can be heard on every streaming podcast platform there is out there. Please make sure you are subscribing to, as he said, Tanksley TV as well. And That Chick Angel TV on TikTok. My numbers are growing there, and I want to continue to growing.
Picked up
Thank
speed
you.
here lately.
And be on the lookout for I'm Enough Part 2, getting ready to hit the scene, I do believe, by the month of May. And then Mama Likes box number 2. I am hoping, praying that it'll be ready for my birthday. So getting super excited about both. So get your coins together because they're about to be on fire. All right, so until next time, make sure you all also follow the podcast at Is This Going to Cause an Argument on Instagram. Till next time, you guys, be blessed. Bye.
Y'all have a good one, man.